that? I think I might have threw it away. I said I think I might have threw it away. There's a little... I remember what it said. Hey, day 4 of 31. I actually have been going live on Instagram. Thought it was transferring over and it wasn't. So, I've been missing action here. It's because I've been over there. I went live already earlier and it was fire. Like, the more I say yes to and move towards what energizes me, the more I move closer and closer to my passion, purpose, and that can work for everybody, not just me, because we're all the same. But the question that I got this morning was how to manifest your goals or dreams. And my daughter actually came up with this question. And I don't know if it's because that was the question that I felt so lit. Like, that live was lit. My phone died, so it didn't save, but that's all right. People showed up, and it was an authentic conversation, and I really appreciated the feedback I got and people asking questions and stuff. But since it didn't save, and actually I'm just talking to my teen son, and I felt like that was something I could talk about here on Facebook as I'm doing this live challenge. So the question, like I said, was how to manifest your goals or dreams. And this is not going to have too much emotion as it did for me earlier, because, it's just when you do something the first time, it's authentic and it's powerful and the energy's there. But I will say the answer to that was very heavy because it's a very loaded question. I know many people know what, they think they know what manifestation is, and you got some affirmations or you think about things constantly and it comes to you and all of that. But it's actually a lot deeper than that. First is the realization that we create our reality. That doesn't sit well with too many people because, especially if you grew up religious, you were taught that your reality, your future, your current situation was in the hands of someone else. And although, in my opinion, that is true, I think I posted yesterday, God is responsible for the creation, but we're responsible for the what. If you do believe that, then it's very difficult then if you believe that God, your destiny is already preformed, whatever God wants for you is what's going to happen and all that. There's a lot of questions that I've always had around that because it's like, why try? Then why do this? Why does what I do matter? But if you do believe that, and it's also very difficult to understand the fact that your thoughts actually create your reality. And the reason that is because everything starts with a thought. Thought is energy. The phone you're on, the computer you're on, the chair you're at, the house you're in, the event you're going to today, social media, Uber, Amazon, it doesn't matter. Everything started as one thought in one person's head. And everything starts with that. So if everything starts with that, then our thoughts, they create our feelings. Our feelings create our actions, and our actions create our results. So you can always tell where you are mentally, what thoughts you're thinking based on your current results. Like it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about your circumstance. It doesn't. And although people are ignorant to that fact, and ignorant just means they lack knowledge around that fact, it's true. So you may not know that, oh, my circumstances don't really define actually me, but you may not know that. So you may feel like they do, but it's actually the thought that you have. So your thought is, my circumstance creates my reality. So that's why your circumstance creates your reality. But it all starts with thought. So to manifest your reality, to manifest your goals, your dreams, it starts with being clear, intentional. You have to have a goal. So think of any goal. It's not, oh, I can't wait until, I would really like to have, or I would really like to be. The subconscious mind only knows current. It doesn't know past. It doesn't relate to future. It's only current. So when you are speaking in future terms, you'll always be speaking in future terms. You have to be something before you can do something. So, and that's why I said it's a loaded question, because in this one live, I can't really explain what manifestation really is and how to do it, just the overall. But if you're interested in it, the gems that I'm dropping, the seeds that I'm dropping here will elevate you on a higher frequency to where you'll start thinking more about it, and then you will attract more and more answers and get those resources. I have several. I'll leave them at the end of this video. But to get what you want, you need to be clear on your intention. You need to know what you want, down to, if it's money, down to the dollar, down to the date. And you need to be speaking in current terms. I am so happy and grateful now that, whatever that might be. Also, it's not enough to just have a sentence that you repeat all the time or that you think about. You must be in vibration. People know law of attraction, but they don't understand that law of vibration comes before law of attraction. So in order for me to attract something, I must be in vibration with something, which is why if you don't know something yet, like, for instance, somebody watching this may not have realized that thoughts create their reality. Well, now that you know that, now that if you choose to really think about that, and you can either accept that, you can reject that. If you choose to accept that, then other things are going to come to you to help you build upon that. But you have to first have been in vibration with that. So once you have your goal, once you're clear, intentional, you have to be in vibration. And to be in vibration with something, you have to be emotionally involved with that idea. And that's where the subconscious mind comes in. We have a conscious mind that, our senses are there, sensory factors. So taste, feel, touch, all those things, right? That's what brings in the thought. And when that thought comes in, you have the ability to say, I'm feeling that. I agree with that. I accept that idea. You have the ability to be like, nah, that's not going to improve the quality of my life or get me to where I'm going. I reject that idea. You also have the ability to originate your own idea. So if I said something out the blue, I'm going to be speaking to 500,000 people in 5 years. That's in the thought I originated. I can accept that to be true. And once my body becomes once I'm emotionally attached to the idea through my body, it has to be. No one knows the when because we don't know the gestation period of an idea. Like, the gestation period of a carrot that grows in the ground, of a baby. We have 10 months. You know the gestation period of that, but nobody knows the gestation period of an idea. But it is fact that if you have a clear goal, if you become emotionally involved with that goal, it is now in your subconscious. It has to be, because our subconscious mind cannot reject anything. Whatever you accept it to be true, whether it's I'm unloved, when people talk about poverty, when people talk about can never make money, when people talk about their kids being bad, like all these things that we say, we don't realize that those are thoughts that we believe. And so we get more of what we're saying. So you're stressed out. You always got something going on. It's always drama. People this, people that. You're going to continue to get that. Because that is the vibration you're in. Versus I'm happy, healthy, wealthy. I have a positive mindset, and you check your thoughts. We allow thoughts to come in and think that we can't kick those out. Some shit pop up in your head and you're like, nah, that's not helping me. That's not improving my thought. Out. Replace it with another thought. You have that ability. That is actually what separates us from any other thing in the animal kingdom. That we're self-conscious. We have our 6 higher faculties. We're able to do things, able to think, and able to reason. There's 6 higher faculties that they do not teach you in school that we all need to be knowing. We all need to be studying and knowing how to use them. And one of them is the reasoning factor, the ability to think. Not, animals out here, we have the same organs and everything as a cow, as a horse, whatever. The difference is our minds. So I said that to say that once you have a thought come in through the conscious mind and then you accept that subconsciously, you begin to get emotionally involved with that thought, and it must turn into form. Your body reacts and you get results, period. People get stuck on when they create goals and they don't know a plan. They don't know the how. You're not supposed to. Leave that. That's what you leave to God. What do you want to do? What do you want? Period. That's it. That's all you need to know. And you need to really want it. You need to get emotionally involved with it. You need to stay in tune with it in your mind. You need to do the work. You need to, and when situations and thoughts come to your mind that you kick out, oh no, I can't do that. Oh no, that's God talking to you. And you have allowed your limited beliefs that you grew up with and you still hold on to. You've allowed those to tell you that you can't do what came to you. If a thought came to your mind, you can do it, because it wouldn't have came to your mind if you couldn't. So God speaks to us and brings the resources that we need to reach the goals that we have. You do not need to know how. As a matter of fact, if you have a goal and you know how you're going to reach it, it's not really a goal. Your goal should be something that scares you, that makes you super uncomfortable, and that you have no fucking idea how you about to get it. But once you have that goal and you make that your goal and you become emotionally involved with that and you become that person, I am going to be a personal growth mindset person. Like, I am that person. I help people get through, situations where they don't think they can do something, or, whatever it is you want to do. Once you have made that decision, that's all. That's all you got to do. And then when thoughts come to you, make a move on that. Don't worry about the how and the end goal. And it's gonna be hard because a lot of us have I would really say all of us, unless you've already done this personal growth work, have limiting beliefs that were instilled in us when we were babies, because as children, we do not have a conscious mind. Everything is subconscious, and we accept what has been told to us. So what you've been told about money, that there's not enough to go around, that when you were watching your parents or your caregivers or people around you that was always broke, always fussing about they didn't have this to pay that, they can't do this. Oh, you want this from the store? No, we can't. It costs too much money. We don't have the money. Food's expensive, or that's too high, to eat healthy, or like any of these things that we grew up with. And blessings to them, they didn't know. They had no idea, because they were also operating out of the paradigms that were given to them. But if you don't change those, you will continue to operate on those. You won't ever move or grow. So that's the quick and the dirty of how to manifest your goal. And yes, Carrie, as you can see, I love this topic as well. It's my favorite. I would say a simple, like just getting started, because a lot of this is heavy, is really pay attention to the thoughts you have on a daily basis. Just watch yourself for the first 2 hours of waking up. Most people waking up on some bullshit. Most people waking up already irritated, already mad about what happened yesterday. And if you operate out of the past, you will always create a predictable future. Who said that? Joe Dispenza. That's my man right there. Like, we doing the same shit over and over again, and we expecting different results. Like, whatever your past is and you operating out of that, you can continue to have that until you actually do the work. And the work starts with your thoughts. So if you don't do anything else, try to just monitor your thoughts and check yourself. Like, you say something crazy to yourself in your mind, or you saying you judging somebody else, or you this, you that. Where's that coming from? Why am I thinking that? And then understand, I don't argue with people about their truth, because literally everybody's truth is literally just their perception. So if you were to argue with me about a certain belief I had, and I were to argue with you, like, your truth only came from your perception. Like, people believe shit because their parents told them they needed to believe it. Like, you grew up a certain way because that's how you grew up. We speak English because our parents spoke English to us. We didn't consciously make the decision to speak English. And you could say that about all kinds of things. Carrie. Right. So I think that's all I'm going to say about it today. I did on that live, actually. So I always have a quote, and I don't have that paper, but the quote was, which was crazy, because what I did was on my sheets of paper that I did every day, I wrote the quote down, and then I just put them all in a bucket. Then I pulled each paper out, and I put the question on there, y'all. So the question and the quote wasn't put together purposely. I wanted it like that so I can kind of see if there's if my quote would sometimes come through as proof of what I'm saying. And today's quote on the back of that paper actually I threw the paper away. It's the Earl Nightingale, looking it up, Nightingale quote. I love him. I'm going to leave y'all some resources at the end of this to tell you who you should, or, something simple you should be looking up. One goes so that I can find his quote. So it was saying, hold on, I'm going to my good boy Dr. Google over here. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. And literally that was on the back of the question about manifesting your goals, by accident. So that did just what I thought it would do. It would line up perfectly, because people, we don't understand that there's a gestation period for everything. We just don't have that yet for an idea. So as long as you do not give up, whatever it is that you not only believe, not only want, but are emotionally involved in, you have to be emotionally with it. When you're saying your affirmations, when you are speaking to yourself, when you are talking to other people, you got to walk and be that person that you are wanting to be. And that will lead you into what quantum leaps is, quantum physics. It's so much shit out here that we're not being taught. The school is never going to teach you the shit. But Albert Einstein in the 50s discovered this, and they've been talking about it ever since, and nobody knows about it, because if you're not looking for it, they're not going to tell you, for many reasons. I could do a whole other live on that. But that was the quote. some resources, some quick things I would say is if you struggle with moving through fear, if you struggle with doing something different, ignorance is what is our only competition. Ignorance is the only reason why people don't move forward. And ignorance is just lack of knowledge. We use it as calling people rude and shit, but that ain't really real. Ignorance just means lack of knowledge. So your only competition is ignorance. And the only way you can get past that, only way you can level up is through knowledge. So if you ain't getting up every day and doing some kind of study, if you only learning from your own mind, your own limited mind, like you ain't gonna know shit. You're not gonna elevate at all. You can't, because you only know so much. So I would say start somewhere, start learning from somebody, start reading something, even if it's 10 minutes a day. Like the amount of time that people spend doing, oh, I don't want it, thank you. Don't throw it away though. I know you're not about to throw that away. The amount of time, you can put it in the freezer, we can put it in our smoothies later. The amount of time that people spend in their own thoughts and watching other people who also think these same thoughts, but think they're going to elevate is crazy. Like if you think about it, it's crazy. So who are you listening to that has leveled up? Whatever, if you know what you want to do, find somebody that already done that and talk to them. Don't talk to people who ain't done or who has no interest in doing what it is you want to do. You want to level up consciously or whatever, you need to be following people who have already done that, even if they just 2 steps ahead of you. Like our circles typically be people that are either lower than us or in the same realm than us. We got to elevate. So I say, even if it's 10 minutes a day, find you a ritual where you are learning from somebody. If you don't like to read, you need to get over that shit. You need to read, because that's where the power is. But if you need to start with a YouTube video, Mel Robbins, that's my girl. She has taught something really quick and easy that anybody can use at any time. And that's her 5-second rule. I have read her book. I say I skimmed it because her book was full of stories, and I didn't need stories to know that shit worked. I read the first couple chapters. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. And it's simple. When you find yourself being lazy or not wanting to get up and do things you know you need to do, or do something out of fear, say you got some public speaking event, or say you need to go speak to somebody or something like that. If you are scared, fearful, lazy, whatever it may be, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. Because you got 5 seconds to tell yourself that you're going to do it, and just do it. Move your body, or your mind is going to take over and tell you all the reasons why you can't do it. And then once you start looking into this and you start understanding how the mind works, then once you are up against fear, not that the fear goes away, but that you understand why it's happening. Our brain is literally here to help us survive. It's not here to help us thrive. So your brain is going to automatically tell you when you're doing something new, nah, we don't do that. That don't sound right. That's kind of scary. You probably shouldn't. Here's the 5 reasons why. All these different things. So if you understand that, though, you won't be like, oh, shit, I guess I can't. I guess I shouldn't, because this is my mind. My mind must be right. You'll know, oh, that's a terror barrier right there. I just got to move through it. Move through it. On the other side of fear is literally what you want. I didn't create none of this shit. I got this from people who have been successful, who have done things that I want to do, who are doing things. So Mel Robbins on YouTube, Bob Proctor, he's really where I started, I would say, on the mind concepts and growth, personal growth. Mel Robbins, Bob Proctor, John Canary, Earl Nightingale, that's my man right there, and Napoleon Hill. They all have some great things to say. If you can YouTube them, just write this down, put it in your notes section on your phone. And like I said, set a 10-minute timer every day. You need to be moving. And the thing is, once you start elevating, once you start moving towards something, you have no other thing to do but to elevate even more. Like you got to, once you get on a certain vibration, you continue to elevate and elevate and elevate, because what you seek, you will find. Books, Think and Grow Rich, I would recommend that to everybody. It's about accumulation of money, but it's real heavy on the mindset piece of it. And know that knowledge comes through constant spaced repetition, meaning that you can't read something once and really understand it. When I've read something 2 and 3 times, literally every time I read it, I come across something new. And I'm like, damn, I don't remember reading it the first or second time or third time. But it's because I'm a new person. Once you elevate and once you pick up on shit from the ether and the universe energy comes to you and you understand it, then you can level up and understand something else. Whereas the first time I read it, I wasn't understanding a lot because I was on a lower vibration. Elevate it, and you just read it and read it. You can't read something too much. You're going to learn something every time. The Big Leap is another book. I'm reading that. I'm listening to the audiobook now by Gay Hendricks. He's talking about your genius zone. We all have a genius zone of where we should be operating in 100% of the time. The Four Agreements, I'm reading that on my phone. That shit's powerful. And then, so Think and Grow Rich. Mario, hand me that book right there. That book at the bottom. The white one. Or you can just hand me all three. Thank you. What you think of me is none of my business. I struggle with criticism. I struggle with what people think for many reasons. So I'm working through that. That's helping me. Think and Grow Rich. I'm going to be 90 years old reading this shit. And then Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. This right here is powerful. Like that book right there, if you take the time, it's one you got to take time with. You got to read. But that book right there will help you understand how we are literally 99.999% energy. Only 0.00001% matter. We're more nothingness than we are something. And that's everything. The phone that I'm looking at is literally made of the same shit I am. And that baseline understanding of that helps you understand quantum physics, helps you understand how you can literally really do quantum leaps and change your reality by changing your thoughts. I just started it. I could be sleepy as fuck. I start reading this, I perk right up because Joe Dispenza is that man. I'm telling you. He does week-long retreats. If you don't know Joe Dispenza, you need to look him up on YouTube. For real. He's the first person you should look up because he's still alive. A lot of people talking about his already passed, which their shit is still powerful. But he's out here doing 10, 20, like thousands of people retreats. Week-long retreats where he takes them into this deep, like conscious space. And he's doing scientific studies. This is not just woo-woo shit. People have come with all kinds of depression, cancer, all kinds of things that they get on scans. And he is having them do things and he's monitoring your heart and all different things of your body to prove how your thoughts create your reality. And these people are doing what he's talking about and they cancer-free, drug addiction-free. Like the stuff this man is doing, I thank God for him. Like, and I will be going to one of his retreats for sure. I can't wait to share that experience. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was, if you're still on and listening this far, is that I was asked, I think one of the questions someone had asked me about raising teens and making time for them. And I just wanted to share a real-time experience that I just had before I forget it, because I have them often, then I forget, and it's not as powerful. I realized that when I get into something I really love, then I can do it for a long time. So I had to start time blocking where I pretty much plan out my day. Like, I'm spending an hour here, I'm doing this, and I have to put my kids in that, because especially the older two, because like as your kids get older, they're going to demand less and less of your time, but that doesn't mean they don't need it. So like my 5 and 2-year-old, I ain't got to ask them if they want to spend time or wonder. Like, they going to pull at me that, mommy this, mommy that, let's do that. They're constantly, they on my hip, right? But my 12 and 16-year-old are not necessarily like that. They do it in other ways, behaviors and certain things like that. However, they got, they may have their phone, they got their friends, so they're not pulling for my time as my little ones are, but they still need it. So what I realized was, I need to make sure that I have time around where I'm doing nothing. Because I can literally be doing something all day long where I'm just doing nothing. So I would do it when they on break now, but when they were in school, then I know when they get home, close the computer, put the phone down, just chill. Because I realized, if I need something from my parents, or if I need something from even my husband, whatever, I feel more apt to come into them when they don't look busy, when they don't look occupied. So literally that has really changed so much. I'll give y'all an example today. Mario came down. I'm like, I'm in a cool space, close the computer, close my phone, whatever. And I say, hey, how you doing? What'd you do yesterday? What did you do? Da-da-da. That's it. I ain't trying to get off in his business or, hey, let's have this deep conversation. Just letting him know that I am present, I'm around. And he randomly was like, hey, mommy, let me ask you about this. And this has happened several times, y'all. I'm just sharing it right now because it's like fresh. He was like, I was with my friends yesterday and they was smoking, and I felt kind of weird. Yes, Mia, put the phone down. It's family time. It's hard to do because just like it's hard for them to. This shit's made to make you addicted. Like, period. I don't got no notifications on. I don't want to know if somebody sent me shit on Facebook. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Pick it up. Oh, what's a notification? It's not me. It's my brain. Dopamine. Like, it's made to actually do that. It's not you. You just have to be intentional. And if you don't realize what you're doing, you're gonna do what they said. That's because you're unconscious. You're just doing shit. You're just doing it. You're not even thinking about what you're doing. So he's like, we were smoking. No, he said they were smoking, and I was asking my friend how it felt. Now, smoking weed, this is something we've talked. He's 16. We've been talking about this shit and having open conversations and all of that. So I know that he doesn't smoke, not because he thinks he'll get in trouble, because it's just not his preference. And we've had talked about situations where he's been in that and all that. But he's like, he asked his friend, like, how does it feel? The conversation came up, like, why do you smoke? What does it do for you? And his friend was saying, he's telling him it was a good feeling, and was like, when I smoke, food tastes better. Food tastes better. Oh, it calms you. You don't really worry about your problems like that. And it's like you in a movie. Like you feel like you in some kind of movie experience. That's how you explained it, right? That was what he said. Yeah. And he asked us, like, what do we think about it? Me and my husband. Like, what do we think about it? Like, should he do it? Should he try it? He's kind of curious about it. And if I had been busy, I had asked him this too, y'all, before I went live, to confirm what I'm thinking. Like, Mario, if I was busy, if I was in my computer when you came downstairs and I was, doing my work or whatever, all the things we can do, right, as moms. If I was doing that, would you have came to me with that question? And he was like, no. Eventually, maybe. But he said that me not doing anything, like, what'd you say?
You're not doing anything, made the perfect time.
Me not doing anything posed the perfect time for him to ask the question. Now, mind y'all, he about to be, hey, Julia, he about to be with these same kids, right? So let's just say I was super busy and he didn't get to ask me, or I was in my own little world and he didn't get to ask me, which, Mario, I hope you know, like, if you have a serious question, interrupt what the fuck I'm doing and ask me. But, he's like, oh, she busy, she on the phone, whatever. Then he could have went out with these friends and not really had any extra knowledge on smoking, and like, damn, that really sounds interesting. I want to create a movie. Let me try it out. It's only one time, how it goes, right? But thankfully, I've been doing this practice and he knew I wasn't busy. So he asked me. And so I was able to not only share my thoughts on it, but also like call my husband and say, hey, this is what Mario's asking me. What do you think? He's going to be with his friends today. What do you think about it? And so Robert was actually able to share his experience and was able to share what he thought. And, we both were able to give our advice. And Robert was like, at your age, like, you don't have the experience to go off of. And we just talked about, what does it mean to be in a movie when you're high? What does that feeling mean? Also, what is it doing for you? Also, what, like my husband had brought up, like, what are you going to be when things do arise in life? Because it will. Thank you, Carrie.
Almost got hit by a car.
Boy, if you have smoked and you know the feeling and you feel good about it, y'all know where I'm going with this. Like, it's easy to be like, let me go smoke. And also, we talked about different things, like not knocking the friend. Because what Mario was interested in was, he actually did some research and it was saying there wasn't many health benefits, health things that have occurred from smoking weed. And also that he saw Bill Nye or something when he did some research and they were saying that people would smoke, play games, and be better, concentrate more or whatever. And I told him, there's a couple things. Weed has been illegal for so long, there's not much research on it. Two, though, honestly, as an ICU nurse, I ain't never seen somebody come in with a heart attack, stroke, or nothing off of weed, right? So we know, like, just off of experience, and you could talk to people. Ain't nobody ever out here killing people off smoking weed. Like, we know that. But also, the addictive behavior, what does that mean? What if it's helping you with your problems, if it's helping you stay calm, if it's helping you be in this movie, so not really dealing with reality, then what is that going to do for you when you actually have an issue? And we were just saying, not that, hey, don't smoke weed, because that's not really my message at all. It's more so you're 16 and you're still developing, your brain's still developing. So if you were to do it, it's probably not best to do it at this age because XYZ. So it was a whole, conversation that I know you guys would have with your kids too. But the fact and the point being that I want to share was, as our kids get older, it's easier to push them aside because they have their friends, they have their life, they have their thing, and they can entertain themselves. My younger ones gonna get that attention. Period. They gotta fight for it. You know, they pulling on me, whatever. The older ones, they gonna chill, they gonna sit back, they gonna lay back, but that doesn't mean they cool. So I've been being intentional on making time, like getting off my computer, even if it's for an hour or two. Hey, what's up? And I might not talk about nothing else, just so they know, okay, she's here, she's present, she's around. And I also check myself when they do ask me something so that it's always a welcoming environment. So, is that all I needed to share, Mario, about you?
Yeah.
That's it, y'all. I just want to share that because I've been going live on Instagram and it has not been coming over to Facebook, but this is day 431 that I've been going live. If any of y'all want to join the challenge, I'm doing it with some friends. Everybody's having positive benefits, like period. Whether you got a business, whether you don't, just in general, because I think that, I don't know, I can't think of the benefits outside of a business right now, but I think being more comfortable with self. That was my whole thing for going live every day. Just like, I want to be more comfortable with who I am. Like on camera, off camera, it doesn't matter. I also have my business, Moms to Achieve. Y'all go ahead and follow. But that wasn't my primary reason for this. So if you're interested, if you think it'll be fun, and it don't have to be serious topics, I just had people submit their answers, their questions, topics, or whatever, and I choose to go live off of that. And it just so happens that I like talking about this kind of stuff. So, but it could be anything. It could be anything. 2 to 5 minutes. People are seeing great results from it, just feeling better. Feeling more okay in their skin, sharing more information. A lot of the people that are going live do have businesses and people are learning a lot. And you build that know, like, trust with people, right? Like if you sell products or you in real estate or whatever, and people get to know you as a person, people are more apt to purchasing from you or doing business with you or building a relationship with you, or you might find connections, whatever. So if you want to join, I think I pinned the post on my page. You can read about it. Just comment on it. Tell us you're joining. It doesn't matter that you missed 4 days. We got 28 more. Y'all have a blessed day.